right, so we back here once again, continuing our NFL preview, our ninth annual Couch Coach Live NFL preview, and we'll be discussing the Arizona Cardinals. We'll head a little west, and we got our guy Thad from What the Game Means to Me podcast. What's going on, Thad?
What's good, man? Back for another episode, ready to talk about the Cardinals, who are going to have a tough year in the NFC West. Let's get
Yes,
to it.
yes, indeed. Our QB whisper. So we had to talk about the Arizona Cardinals. So, I know we talked about it a little bit before we got on tonight. Just your thoughts on the Arizona Cardinals offseason, and then what do you view as their biggest acquisition in the offseason?
I think the Cardinals had a very lackluster offseason. They didn't make a lot of moves. They didn't replace Chandler Jones. They didn't replace Rodney Alford. I don't know what they're really thinking. Coming off a beatdown in the wild card round of the playoffs, you haven't been to the playoffs in a while since the Carson Palmer era, I think, if I'm not mistaken, and Bruce Arians. So, I think getting beat like that in the first round would add some motivation to, come back stronger, build onto the roster. But they really didn't make any moves. They signed some veterans back, Zach Ertz, James Conner, who had a big season this year, and A.J. Green, but didn't really go out and spend a lot of money. The biggest acquisition, I think it's really the only one, which, some people question, was the Hollywood Brown trade. Look, D-Hop was out for 6 games for PEDs. And Kyler and Hollywood have a rapport in college. They were a lethal connection. And, in the Baltimore offense, Hollywood felt like he wasn't being utilized to his full potential, which I kind of agree with. He even told Lamar that, as that being his brother. So I think getting him, even though you could have drafted him in a draft deep with a lot of receivers, but hey, it might pay off, and it could be we could look back at this and be like, wow, it was a game changer. You already have Rondell Moore and A.J. Green, but Hollywood is a speedster just like Rondell Moore, and, the connection they have could be lethal. Kingsbury, dials up the right play. So I'm going to go with Hollywood being the biggest acquisition, even though they didn't do much at all. So.
Okay. And so for this Arizona Cardinals team, what do you deem as the biggest storyline heading into their season?
Can Kyler and Cliff get it done? And can they, play a full 17-game season? The Cardinals always start out, 6-1 or what? Last year, like 8-2 or 9-2, and then you collapse going into the playoffs and they get beat down. Their 3 years together, they've started slow, and the last quarter of the season, the last 4 or 5 games of the season, they've just fallen completely apart. And can they get it done this year? Get to the playoffs is cute, but can you win a game? Can you go to the divisional round? Can you go to the NFC Championship? I know, every team wants to win the Super Bowl and get to the Super Bowl, but it's baby steps when you're a franchise that, hasn't been there in a while. The playoffs, the NFL is not easy. You're not going to just go to the Super Bowl. What the Bengals did, nobody really expected, let's be honest. So, baby steps. Can they get it done? Can they play a full 17-game season? Can they find consistency the entire year and not get complacent? I know I'm not saying like they get lazy with the play calling and stuff, but maybe they do because teams catch on and they don't adjust well. I don't know what it is, but they need to stay consistent for the entire 4 months of the season.
Yeah, big time. And your thoughts on the outlook on the offense. Your thoughts on the Arizona Cardinals offense?
The offense will be fine. Kyler's going to make plays. He's going to be himself. They lost Chase Edmonds, which I didn't really agree with. He went to Miami. James Conner is not an every down back. He's a power guy. He's a goal line guy, which we saw. He had over 10 touchdowns this year and had a Pro Bowl appearance because, stopping him from getting the yard is pretty tough. So offense, it's okay. Ertz is solid. Rondell Moore was good this rookie year. I always thought he was good from his days at Purdue. D-Hop being out 6 games is going to hurt. But like I said with Hollywood, if they had this connection they had in, college, and Kyler is a different type of quarterback than Lamar. Lamar can throw it, but Kyler is going to, I don't know, he's more of a natural thrower in my opinion. And, just their offense is more explosive. If it's Hollywood, he's going to have a lot of single coverage matchups. When you come out in like 12 personnel and there's only 2 receivers on the field, a tight formation when you're the only receiver out there, you're going to have 2 or 3 guys on you. Not if it's man coverage, but like cover 3 with a guy over the top and then the guy underneath you and stuff like that. And a linebacker buzz underneath you if you go inside. So I think he's going to see a lot more one-on-one matchups. And when D-Hop comes back from the suspension, I think it'll really open up. But offense is okay. I think the offense is going to be fine in my opinion. Like I said, it's about being consistent. I'm really worried about the defense.
Yeah.
And my fault. Before we move on, they just
Yeah.
need to protect. I forgot. That was my main thing. They should have gone out and spent some money to protect. Because, Kyler's shorter. He likes to get out the pocket, but you see how he is with – you got Aaron Donald in your division. You need to – I know they have Rodney Hudson, but one man's not going to stop Aaron Donald. So I wish they would have added some more beef up front.
You're right about that. We've seen that countless times when it comes to that. So, and you actually alluded to it a few seconds ago. Your thoughts and your outlook on this defense.
Defense is okay. I think they have some players, it's not a top 5 or top 10 defense, but they have some players. I'm upset that they didn't replace Chandler Jones. I know they had to let him go or whatever, couldn't agree on whatever type of contract, but you got to replace a guy like that. I know he had that one breakout game and was okay the rest of the season, but he's not just a body. He's a solid player, former Pro Bowler, stuff like that. So got to replace him. But they got some players, Zayvon Collins they drafted last year. He didn't get on the field till late because he was sitting behind Jordan Hicks, who had a really good season. But Isaiah Simmons, he hasn't been the guy we thought he was coming out of Clemson, but he had a solid year last year. He had 105 tackles. He was everywhere. Some of the tackles came from him missing the assignment, chasing the guy, from just getting beat or something like that. But I think they got some pieces. Byron Murphy is a solid corner. Marco Wilson is okay. He was a young rook, so the rooks get. I don't know how to say it, but they have a bunch of rough days. He had some good moments, but I think it's all about reps at the cornerback position. You're only going to get better by going against the best, and he went against a lot of top tier competition in the NFC West, so he had growing pains. Kind of like I'm not saying he's like Trayvon Diggs, but Trayvon Diggs had a rough rookie year. He got beat a lot. He got beat a lot this year, but this year he made a lot more plays on the ball. So excited to see that. And then lastly, Jalen Thompson, the safety on the other side of Budda Baker, 121 tackles. He's kind of like Budda Baker everywhere. Helps out that he can play center field sometimes when Budda comes down in the box. Because I think that's when Budda's the best, like when he's in the box. So the defense has some pieces, like I said, some young guys that can fly around, aging J.J. Watt, but I don't know if it's going to be enough to stop the Rams and other teams. But like I said, it's just okay. The offense is going to be fine, but the defense, they don't have a collar or a person that can carry them. Budda Baker is very good, but on defense, you need more than just one man. And we'll see how it pans out.
Yeah, absolutely. And so for this Arizona Cardinals team, like I said, 17-game season, 18 weeks in totality. Got a few games that are circled on the calendar for the Arizona Cardinals.
Yeah, I got a couple. I'm gonna go first with the Bucks, playing the GOAT Brady. And for me, the second game to circle is the Week 7 matchup, Thursday night game when they play the Saints. I know some people will be like, "Why are you saying that?" But that's going to be the game D-Hop comes back from the suspension, and this first time we're going to be able to see this offense with all their toys. So him, Hollywood, Zach Ertz, AJ Green, and Rondo Moore, Hollywood in the slot was going to be a sight to see. And the last game has to be the Rams. They got a beat down pretty much. That was one of the most embarrassing playoff games we've seen in a long time. Didn't get any points until later in the second half. It was a lot of garbage time points. The game wasn't close. It was just complete domination. And having that bitter taste in your mouth the whole offseason, I know you got to be ready to play the Rams. And I'd rather beat them down at their home. Even though they did it earlier in the season, maybe that's why the Rams got them back. But the Rams game that's honestly number one. I said the Bucks game first, but that's definitely the biggest game on the calendar for me.
Yeah, big time. So I got to ask you the $60 million question that is. So in 2022, the Arizona Cardinals will finish.
I'm going to go through each game again. I'm going to say 6-11, but this is a real harsh prediction. 6-11 is tough because I know they're probably going to sneak out the division game. I don't think they might not get swept by the Rams, but I have them starting off 0-3. They're going to lose to the Chiefs, the Raiders, and the Rams. Tough start to the season. Then they're going to win 2 straight when they play the Panthers and the Eagles. I mean 3 straight because they play the Seahawks after that. I think they're going to lose to the Saints and the Vikings, even though the first game with D-Hop back. But I just, chemistry might be off, but we're going to see. Then they're back on the winning track playing Seattle. They're going to sweep Seattle. The whole division is going to sweep Seattle this year, sad to say. And then they're going to lose to the Rams, and they're going to beat the 49ers at home. They're going to split with the 49ers and then lose 4 in a row when they play the LA Chargers, come off a bye. Then they have Bill Belichick, and then they play the Broncos and then the Bucks. So those are 4 in a row. And they're going to win the last 2 versus the Falcons and the 49ers. So 6-11, which is going to be good enough for only 3rd place in the division. And I don't know, man. If it starts off this bad, even though the schedule's tough, like I have a feeling that they might fire Kingsbury. I don't know for sure. It's not going to look good. I want him to keep his job. I don't think he's a terrible coach, but 6-11 after, starting up here and then going downhill the first 3 years is not the best look. But 6-11 is what I got.
Yeah, and like you said, now and you look at the pressure now, especially now you have your franchise quarterback in the fold, so like there's going to be a heightened expectation, and then considering the fact that hey, the last two teams who have hosted a Super Bowl have won a Super Bowl in their home in their home stadium. So Arizona, even though like you said, they're not like the Rams or they're not like the Bucks, but hey, there's expectation there, like you said, especially in this and with this regime where you look at obviously like when they got rid of Steve Mills. That's not Steve Mills. I forgot his name.
Steve Wilks.
Steve Wilks. Yeah, Steve Wilks. Yeah, Steve Wilks. They got rid of him that first year and then kind of just gutted that situation out. So yeah, I could definitely, like you said, that 6-11 record. Yeah, if he's not fired by midseason, he'll be one of the first ones on Black Monday for sure. At 6-11, yeah.
So if he's that bad, like I had them winning the last 2 versus the Falcons and the 49ers. So if they're 4-11, he might be going before that. But hey,
yeah, right.
We'll see. College just signed that big extension. I know that's his guy. Like literally, he said if I had the number 1 pick, I'd take College. Then he got the job. So I don't know. I have no idea. And we will see soon. So.
And if it does, like you said, fail, College will be calling Cliff Kingsbury.
Oh yeah, he'll get a good job.
Oh yeah, he'll be fine. So yeah, he'll rebound. There'll be a Power 5 school ready to just drop anything that he wants. But yeah, so definitely appreciate you, Thad. We'll put a bow on this Arizona Cardinals preview. That pretty much. Social media and then any upcoming projects, what you got going on.
You can follow me and Jelani at What the Game Means to Me on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Got a couple of player interviews coming up with some college guys before they go to camp, and I will be coming out with my top 10 for each position group starting tomorrow. Hopefully tomorrow. It should be tomorrow. And the following 2 weeks leading up to the season. But, yeah, man, about that time again, football season, we're going to be coming back with our weekly show, maybe 2 times some weeks, and just looking forward to the football season. This is the best time of the year. Look forward to coming back on Couch Coach Live and talking with the Washington football, well, the Commanders chat, my fault.
Yeah.
Talking with you guys. So this is, like I said, best time of the year. Ready to do a lot more pods, hop on with the guys at Off the Ball Network and put out that good content. So appreciate you having me on.
Yeah, and like you said, we'll definitely have you on Couch Coach Live, and then also on Commanders in the chat as well. So yeah, we'll definitely have you on as season progresses. So yeah, man, definitely appreciate you once again, man, and we'll catch you guys on the next episode. This has been the Arizona Cardinals preview.